For a lot of Nigerians, they have never experienced currency changes, of course, considering the demographics. Boniface Chizea is a former banker, and he joins me all the way from Lagos this morning to speak to the implications of this development to the Nigerian economy. You're welcome, Mr. Boniface, to Business Express.
Thank you, my dear. How are you? How are you doing?
Well, hi. And I hope you're keeping safe and you're above the rising water levels.
Well, but thank God, bless God. I think that it's wake-up call. We should only should do what we should do. So the flood is coming, and there's for us to make sure we do what we should do. Make sure that we play safe. Okay. I hope in Abuja you are safe yourselves.
We are safe. We're safe. Thank you for checking in on us as well. So firstly, yes, hearing the reasons given by the CBN governor on why the Naira needed to be redesigned, perhaps you can talk us through how did we get here? This is because when we consider the demographics, a lot of people only know the currency in circulation right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that this the Governor Central Bank in its press conference, make it quite clear. Nigeria has a large informal sector, which means you have the large sector of the economy is operating outside the formal system. So you have the artisans and so on and so forth. People sell certain things by the roadside. They don't patronize the banks, so they don't use the banks. So, but it's alarming for the Governor Central Bank to say that the money in circulation is of an amount of about 3.3 trillion naira, and about 2.7 or 8 to 8 is outside the banking system. Now that is terrible. For those of us who are economists and know a little bit about banking, what that means is that the monetary policy, to that extent, can only be as effective to the extent that it targets only 15%, and that is terrible. And most of the things you do, the monetary policy, the economy, and so on, is to deepen your financial sector. Deepening your financial sector really means that you want to attract as much as possible most of the funds in circulation in your economy in the formal system to be with the banks. But if you also see in doing this, which is our case, then that's alarming. And of course, the reasons for this are obvious. I just talked about a large informal market. But the government himself, did allude to the fact of so much money, criminality in the system, most of that table payments and so on. They are not made to the bank, so they are made in cash. And if you look at our recent experience, where kidnapping and ransom payments have become an industry on its own, it's not surprising. So the amount of money you have outside the banking system is alarming. It distorts the system. It makes the central bank policies to be ineffective. I think this is the most important thing. But maybe as we go on discussing, I read the comments which some people have made. This was released. Some experts, so-called experts. There's so many things, and there's the Indian experience, which again has been referred to. But Indian experience in 2016, they demonetized, and the Indian government woke up one day suddenly and then just said these currency denominations are no longer legal tender, and that's so, and that was sudden, and so it had consequences. But we are not doing that. Look at the notice we are giving to the public. That the government is giving more than 1.5 months notice before this will start, and this is a different ballgame. All we are trying to do is to change our currency, change the notes, and those who legitimate have legitimate for this currency do not have anything to worry about. But I'll say to Nigerians, what's important is that they should get going, because we have a penchant of when we have a program and we wait deadlines and so on and so forth. We wait until the deadline is it's up.
Okay,
machine and so on and so forth.
Okay,
so
if I may come in here, Mr. Boniface, you have already touched on the fact that a lot of people keep their money outside the banks. Now we know that in major commercial centers in this very country, people don't put their monies in the banks. Now we know they are traders, but they are not formal. Is it an issue of trust with our financial institutions?
Well, if you have money, it's not an issue of trust with financial institutions. I mean, we had issues with financial institutions, we had issues with banks failures and so on, but that is well behind us. I mean, the monetary authorities are on top of their jobs, in terms of that. So the banks are safe. The money with the banks are safe. But but when you have lots of money, that people have ill-gotten money, it's difficult to take it to the bank. So that's the problem. So if you come with a large sum of money, how do you begin to pay? And when it's cash, so you cannot have any transfers and so on and so forth, and then you sold crude oil in black markets, and then you earn so much dollars and so on. How do you bring it into the bank? You'll be reporting yourself. Because you raise eyebrows, somebody's going to ask you, how did you come by this money? And so what you do with this money is to put it in the system, and then it overheat the system. And so that's why, if you need money that's outside the system, I hear people say, changing the currency is going to affect inflation, and so of course it will affect inflation, because it's going to impact on demand. If you withdraw this money, and if they don't know, they struggle, because you see what tends to happen is that the fraudsters, those who are in illegal business, they try to be one step ahead of policy decisions. So there's going to be a struggle now to begin to think out of the box, and to see how monies are outside, monies that are hidden in various places would come into the system. But I hope we'll talk about also the timelines and so on and so forth. And I think also it should impact election 2023. I think it's good news for everybody.
Yes. So before we get to all that, perhaps you could tell us, is this going to have any impact on exchange rates, knowing that the naira has been battered in recent times?
Yes, it's going to have impact on the same rate. Because the same rates, that's why you have the private market, which is about 7 and something naira. So the official rates are about 420 or thereabouts. It's going to affect it, because you see, to the extent that the monies are illegal, they're being used, to trade in this business, to pile up demand. What's affecting the exchange rate is that the demand for dollars is substantial, and we have an appetite, which is insatiable, and so that's why you have this differential in rates. And of course, that's the official window. We have also a challenge, in the sense that we are not being able to earn sufficient foreign exchange. And so when I hear people make statements to the effect that the governors have concentrated in, turning up the foreign exchange and so on, sort of turning the currency, I don't know those rubbish. I think that you show that people are that they miss the point. They miss the point, because the governor of central bank don't have the magic wand, to make the currency strong. It doesn't have it. What to make the currency strong? We have to earn from the exchange. Now you have the situation whereby even official source of the only source, the news and news decoding air, which is oil. Now even that is been subsidized by corruption. So you find that in the morning we have our OPEC quota, and then we're not even being able to meet OPEC quota. Because the corruption there has been entrenched. Our monies that will come, they're all being taken away. I overheard it complaining. I think he got into the oil business, and he was alarmed at the rate of stealing that was going on there. And in fact, he voiced this complaint aloud. So I think that's so there are challenges. So it's going to affect it. It's going to affect everything. It's going to affect inflation. And I'm just praying that the implementation will be seamless. Of course, there will be some unanticipated consequences and so on and so forth. The country is very vast and so on, and some people might be caught in the process, not being able to change their currencies and so on. That is inevitable. So
considering the timelines now, how will this impact on financial inclusion, and then those people who are living outside the urban centers, how will this affect them? What will be the steps to drag them in?
Well, I will expect that central bank will keep its eyes peeled on this and monitor and make sure that if there are any bottlenecks that would affect the processes in terms of making sure that even the currency is safely available. So we can say that you're going to have new currencies and so on and so forth, and that day comes and they find that even the supply is inadequate. So we can have some issues. But if you can put all this together, what central bank is supposed to monitor the process, I would expect that it was postponed. But for me, what is particularly of interest is that it will affect the money was going to spend in elections, and that's very good for us. We want to demonetize elections. We want to stop vote buying. I know that most politicians, they stock up dollars and so on and so forth. I think that the authorities should be and the security agencies should be up and doing, because dollar is not a legal tender in Nigeria. And so if you come and giving dollars, to electors openly, you should be arrested, because that's going against the law. So I think that beyond the election in February 2023, I think we should be relaxed about this. I think that make sure that people in legitimate position of Naira are not denied value. I think this is very important. So I would say that we have to take on board the fact that this country is very vast territory, and there are lots of people who are in the outlying regions who do not have immediate access to banks. But I swear that those who want to target, right, before the elections and after the election, must have gotten them. So that's very important.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Boniface Chizea, all the way from Lagos. Thank you for your insights this morning, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Bless you too. Next is our Surviving COVID-19 series package by Nneka Oko.